By the time I met her, the galaxy had already learned to fear her name. They called her Aurelia Vare, empress of the astral dominion, sovereign of 12 star realms, the woman who ruled not from a throne of stone or metal, but from orbiting capitals that blotted out suns. Entire civilizations measured time by her conquests. Entire species rewrote their myths to explain how someone so young, so brilliant, and so merciless had come to command the stars themselves. I did not meet her as an emperor. I met her as a prisoner. Beginning, the fall of a nobody. I was born on Kharon's Reach, a mining world so far from the galactic core that even pirates rarely bothered with it. Our skies were always gray with ash. Our oceans were shallow and poisoned. We lived short lives and expected nothing from the universe except work and death. My name was Elias Wren, and until the age of 27, I was unremarkable in every way that mattered. I worked maintenance in the lower decks of an orbital refinery, patching hull fractures, recalibrating thrusters, fixing machines no one else wanted to touch. I slept in a shared bunk room. I sent half my wages to my mother, who was slowly dying of lung rot from decades in the mines. I had no ambition to rule anything. I only wanted to survive. That illusion ended the night the sky split open. Dominion warships emerged from hyperspace without warning, sleek, obsidian shapes that swallowed starlight. Sirens screamed across Kharon's Reach. Defense cannons fired uselessly. Within minutes, our planetary shields collapsed like wet paper. The Dominion did not invade planets for resources. They invaded for compliance. Anyone who resisted was erased. I was on the refinery when the first bombardment hit the capital city. The horizon burned. Communications went dark. And then Dominion boarding craft slammed into our station, tearing through steel like flesh. I remember the sound of boots echoing down the corridors, the smell of ionized air, the screams. I grabbed a plasma cutter, not as a weapon but as a comfort. It didn't matter. Dominion soldiers found us anyway. We were herded into the central hangar, hundreds of us kneeling on cold metal while drones scanned our faces and genomes. Then she arrived. Aurelia Vare descended the ramp of her command shuttle wearing no armor, only a mantle of living starlight, fabric woven from nanofibers that shimmered like galaxies in motion. Her hair was silver, her eyes an impossible violet, and her presence bent the room around her. She did not raise her voice. She did not need to. By authority of the astral dominion, she said calmly, "This world is now under my protection. Those who submit will live. Those who do not will be remembered briefly." No one resisted. Why would we? Then her gaze found me. The drones paused. Her expression changed, not to anger, not to curiosity, but to something colder. Recognition. "You," she said. "Bring him." I didn't understand why. I still don't. At least not fully. I was dragged before her, forced to my knees. She studied me like an equation she had nearly solved. "You have something," she said softly. "Something you don't know how to use." I laughed, hysterical, terrified. "I'm a mechanic." She smiled faintly. "So was I," she said. "Once." And then everything went black. Middle. The truth of power. I woke aboard her flagship, the Imperium Ascendant, a city ship larger than continents, orbiting a star that had been artificially dimmed to power its core. I was not tortured. I was educated. They placed me in a chamber of glass and light, where Dominion scientists, some human, some very much not, ran tests I couldn't comprehend. Neural scans. Temporal resonance mapping. Probability field measurements. Every result made them more nervous. Aurelia visited often. She never explained anything directly. Instead, she asked questions. Do you ever dream of places you've never been? Yes. Do machines malfunction around you? Sometimes. Have you ever felt the universe hesitate? That one chilled me. Because yes, I had. After weeks of observation, she finally told me the truth. The universe, she explained, was not random. It was layered, a vast structure of timelines, probabilities, and causality fields. Most beings existed passively within it. A few could interact with it. They were called anchors, rare individuals whose consciousness resonated with the foundational constants of reality. They didn't cast spells or shoot lightning. They influenced outcomes. Luck bent toward them. Systems aligned. Wars ended the way they unconsciously expected them to. Aurelia Vare was one. And so was I. The difference was that she had discovered her nature early and built an empire around it. You are untrained, she said as we stood before a holographic map of the galaxy. Unaware, untapped, but your resonance is stronger than mine. That's impossible, I said. She turned to face me fully. For the first time, I saw something like fear in her eyes. I have conquered stars, she said, and yet the universe leans toward you. She wanted me as an asset, a weapon, a partner. I refused. Not because I was brave, but because I saw what her empire cost. Whole cultures erased. Worlds pacified under threat of annihilation. She didn't punish me. She trained me. Over months that became years, she taught me to focus, to feel the currents of probability, to nudge outcomes gently. I learned to stabilize reactors by expecting them to hold, to escape locked rooms by believing the door would open. But the more I learned, the more I understood something she did not. Anchors did not rule the universe. They served as balances. Every act of domination created instability. Every forced outcome demanded correction. The Dominion was not a triumph of order. It was a fracture waiting to collapse. When I told her this, she laughed. You think the universe cares about morality? She asked. No, I said, but it cares about equilibrium. She dismissed my concerns. Until the rebellions began. The fracture of an empire, the first star system vanished without warning. Not destroyed. Not conquered. Gone. Sensors reported nothing where a thriving civilization had existed hours before, just a void where space-time itself refused to behave. Then another system destabilized. Then another. Reality storms. Temporal inversions. Entire fleets lost between seconds. The universe was pushing back. Aurelia worked tirelessly to contain the damage, using her anchor abilities to reinforce collapsing sectors. But she was only one mind, one will, and the empire she had built was too large, too rigid. She finally came to me, not as an empress, but as a woman afraid of losing everything she had sacrificed for. You were right, she admitted. Help me fix this. I told her the truth. The Dominion could not be saved. It had to be unmade. Not through war, but through surrender, through releasing control, dissolving enforced unity, allowing worlds to choose their own paths again. It would mean abdication, she said quietly. Yes. Silence stretched between us, filled with the hum of a dying star outside the viewport. I don't know how to be anything else, she said. I stepped closer. Then let the universe teach you. She made her choice. Ending, when a queen kneels, the abdication was not broadcast. There was no ceremony. In the heart of the Imperium Ascendant, within the chamber of continuity where Dominion emperors had ruled for generations, Aurelia Vare stood before the assembled governors, admirals, and artificial intelligences that govern the stars. And she knelt, not before them. Before me. Gasps echoed through the chamber. Systems stuttered. Probability itself seemed to hold its breath. I relinquish my claim, she said clearly. By my will, the astral dominion is dissolved. Its worlds are free. Control codes propagated across the galaxy. Fleets stood down. AI governance protocols unlocked planetary autonomy. Borders dissolved into open space. The universe responded instantly. Reality storms calmed. Fractures sealed. Lost systems reemerged, shaken but intact. Balance restored. Aurelia remained kneeling long after it was over. "Get up," I said gently. She looked up at me, not as an empress, not even as an anchor, but as a woman who had finally set down an unbearable weight. "What happens now?" she asked. "Now," I said, "we live with the consequences." I did not take her throne. I refused every title offered to me. Instead, I left the Imperium Ascendant on a small, unarmed vessel, traveling from world to world, not to rule, but to listen, to help stabilize where I could, to teach others who carried the same resonance how to use it without domination. As for Aurelia Vare, former Queen of the Stars, she disappeared. Some say she lives on a quiet ocean world, studying art and philosophy. Others claim she wanders the galaxy anonymously, helping rebuild what she once broke. Sometimes, when I stand beneath an unfamiliar sky and feel the universe settle into a gentler rhythm, I think of her. She was a queen of the stars. Then she knelt before me. And in doing so, she finally learned how to stand.